an interesting defensive lineup, isn't it?
Yeah, a lot of ball
an
coverage
interesting
there.
fact about Boyzone, Sean, is that apparently none of them are homosexuals.
So at the end of that round, the scores are that they got no points each. We'll move on now to the electronic media and our foot in the mouth round, where we show RTE reporters saying things they wish they hadn't. We'll show half the clip and our teams have to guess what stupid thing they said. Brendan and Kevin, you can go first. This is a story from 1988 about the Cheltenham Gold Cup. It got nicked and then they found it again. And this is reporter Jerry Reynolds talking about how it was found.
This is where the Cheltenham Gold Cup was finally found. In a trunk in the hall of the family home.
Does he...
So, what does he say next?
He's obviously on his way to make his first communion, isn't he?
He doesn't have a quick look around, does he? Grab the cup and go, I won the cup, I won the cup.
Just so you know, Brendan, he's the head of RTE Cork, a place you'll never get a job. We can have a look at the clip and find out what he said.
This is where the Cheltenham Gold Cup was finally found. In a trunk in the hall of the family home, wrapped in a piece of green cloth. The cup had been missing for over 2 days, just 24 hours in fact.
I'll tell you something I never noticed about him before. Actually, when you look at him in that final shot there, he's actually very physically attractive.
It could be in Boyzone, couldn't it?
It could be.
I'll give you a point, Brendan. Big scene, you're never going to get a job in Cork, and it's your home place. And I'll take a point off Jerry for arse licking.
Right.
So you're down to -1 points now.
Right.
So here's your clip. This is Sean
How
Dignan.
does this work?
This is Sean Dignan interviewing the then Taoiseach Garret Fitzgerald.
Is there any possibility, Taoiseach, that the government will be defeated in the forthcoming confidence vote in the Dáil?
I don't believe so. He said, besides, I am the Taoiseach.
Yeah.
So stop speaking of being the third person.
I think it's worse than that, actually, isn't it?
Gareth went, and Sean Dyken said, I put up with this for years, and slapped him.
That would have been fun, but... Jerry?
No, I think old grey, brainy fellow said, well, because I'm not the Taoiseach and somebody else is going to actually get through the House vote on this.
Well, let's have a look and find out.
Is there any possibility, Taoiseach, that the government will be defeated in the forthcoming confidence vote in the Dáil?
I don't believe so.
Why not?
Because I think that we'll win the confidence vote.
In what way? Will you not have...
By a majority of votes.
We win the hungry vote. What does this translate, please, Moncrief?
Well, it was one of the more hilarious moments in Gareth Fitzgerald's life, put it that way. So I give you a point for being close-ish, and just because it's embarrassing to have you with -1.
So they're up to 0 now.
You created the -1
We're not even into positive numbers now.
No, you're into 0. Yeah, basically. Another big story in the print media this week was the annual Celtic Rangers match, during which Gaza provoked fans by miming the actions of a loyalist marcher. Apparently he pretended to be playing the flute. Not the first time he's shown off his flute where it wasn't wanted. Time now for our sponsors to try and sell you some of their wonderful products, but when we come back we'll be introducing you to journalist Paul Byrne and his in-depth report for Cork multi-channel television on prostitution in the city by the Lee. See you back here in a few minutes.
So having worked the street life for over a year, Deirdre decided that she'd rent a flat. She placed an advert on the paper where she offered a massage. The clients answered in their droves. She placed an advert on the paper where she offered a massage. The clients answered in their droves. She now keeps in touch with the clients by use of a mobile...
Paul Byrne asked us to point out that it wasn't a prostitute ringing him on the phone. It was his heroin dealer. Now, controversy raged this week when the town of Ardee, County Louth, staged a pig racing event. In response, the campaign for the abolition of cruel sports has called on Junior Agriculture Minister Ned O'Keefe to ban pig racing. They specifically asked Minister O'Keefe because he is a major pig producer himself and has many times expressed his personal affection for the animals. Well, as long as it's not illegal, I suppose. That's the main thing.
Sean, you know how they get the pigs to race?
No.
They drive past the pig station in a stolen BMW.
Ned O'Keefe is actually Ned O'Keefe is also the man who at one stage had tried to have the film Babe banned in Ireland.
Did he?
Yeah, because he said that it would actually be damaging to the pig industry, and he said he should have just run a big ad campaign with his face going, "My pigs are ugly and have bad personality.
Well, I'd
have
really
a rasher sandwich."
Time now for State of the Nation, where we test how in tune our contestants are with the mood of the average pig farmer on the street. We ask them questions about some of the big issues of the day. Our contestants have to guess what the answers were. This week, we sacrificed getting drunk on New Year's night just to entertain you. We went to a swanky hotel.
It's New Year's Eve, and here we are in the Burlington Hotel for the annual My God, Haven't I Got a Lot of Money ball. Of course, champagne is the tipple of the night. There's the champagne stand over there. The great advantage of champagne, why it's favoured by the jet set, is of course it gives you a much more refined sort of vomit later on in the night. Big night for fashion here, of course, in the Burlington Hotel, and there's a woman posing the tricky question: do I have more peroxide in my dress or in my hair? And here, of course, local dignitaries are arriving. Here is the President of India arriving at tonight's state function. As you can see, her dress is made out of 5,000 slaughtered small wildebeest.
So there you go. We went to the Burlington, another place I'll never get a job.
Can I just ask you how the President of India is a local dignitary?
I had a job in the Burlington.
Brendan, you go first. Actually, the Spice Girls are in the news this week, and they were in Dublin and they were having a fantastic time and they love it and all the rest of it. There was also a story in the Star telling us that Baby Spice has had her name tattooed on her backside. Very interesting story.
That's right, I know that.
You know this for a fact from personal experience.
No,
he's a journalist.
Oh. Well, Ginger Spice could have the Chinese phone directory tattooed on her arse. So there she is there. That's her face, incidentally, just in case you're wondering. There was talk about them moving over here. So the question we asked was, if the Spice Girls moved in next door to you, what would you do? We asked this woman, did she say A, steal their washing, B, make tea for their fans, or C, try to get pictures of Ginger Spice with her teeth out?
Steal their washing.
Steal their washing you're going for? Okie dokie, let's have a look at the VT and find out.
Can I ask you a quick question, please? The Spice Girls are talking about moving to Dublin. If they moved in next door to you, what would you do?
I'd start serving teas to their fans.
Thanks very much.
Okay, well, you get no points for that anyway.
Flags of the world.
Kevin, you get Boyzone again. As we mentioned, they were in the news because Ronan was complaining that Boyzone don't get no respect when they're on the streets of Dublin. There's the story there. They're all jealous, Ronan thinks. One particularly interesting quote in that story, he said this: as soon as they arrive in Dublin, they always meet some bloke who gives them the fingers. And we don't know who the bloke is, but apparently what he does is that he sees them, he takes up his fingers, and he just goes like that. Whenever he sees Boyzone. So the question we asked was, should we be giving Boyzone the fingers? We asked this woman, did she say A, isn't he a virgin? B, with their money they can afford their own fingers? Or C, are you Sean Creef? God, you're gorgeous!
I know this because he said earlier on that when I'm not working, every second thought I have is about sex. I just thought, so I think it's answer A.
You think it's answer A? So let's have a look at the VT and find out.
Could I ask you a quick question, please?
Yes. No!
Do you think... I haven't asked the question yet, but that was a very good answer.
Hello, Mum.
Do you think Boyzone are getting too many fingers?
Too many fingers? What do you mean by fingers?
Well, Ronan says that they keep getting fingers on the streets of Dublin.
I thought he was a virgin.
Thanks very much.
Oh, well done.
Yes. So finally, Dara. Yours is Bertie Ahern. Bertie Ahern was in the papers this week because he's proposing that TDs get a rise of £11,000, which with anybody with any sense knows isn't half enough. You ask any business person in Ireland, you'll get nothing out of a TD for 11 grand. So the question we asked was, if you were to give a TD £11,000, what would you expect to get from it? We asked this young man. Did he say A, dinner, a show and a shag? B, no change, or C, Leitrim?
The first one was the old Irish permanent ad, wasn't it?
What, dinner, show and a shag in the Irish Permanent?
Well, what would you get for 2 and 6?
How old was that ad?
Well, it's ages ago, actually. So
It was probably pulled very quickly.
pulled very quickly. Ah, well done.
Good enough about my personal life.
Quick, isn't he?
For 11 grand, you'd want a politician to rezone his kids, really, for that kind of money. Mary, you're still
the boys
agreeing
on his
that.
kids.
But John, you're up for urban renewal. Come on, we're going to build you in a week. I would say that it is, I'll say C, Leitrim.
You'd say C, Leitrim? Let's have a look and find out.
Excuse me, can I ask you a quick question?
No problem.
If you were going to give £11,000 to a DD, what would you expect to get in return for it?
To a who?
To a TD.
No change.
Thanks very much.
My fly is open.
Despite my
actually.
mispronunciation, no points for that. Finally, Jerry.
Sorry,
when
my
you
fly
finish-
was open
Really?
there. Now imagine my fly was open the whole way through the show.
Yeah, nobody knows.
And I still haven't got a show. However, go on.
Finally, we thought we'd ask a question
big
about the
opening,
Celtic
Jerry.
Tiger. About the Celtic Tiger and about people doing very well.
All right, well, I can
Poorly
deal
paid
with
people
it.
like yourself doing well now. We asked, the question we asked was, how does it feel to be riding the Celtic Tiger?
I beg your pardon?
How does it feel to be riding the Celtic Tiger?
I could expect that from Brendan O'Connor. I think it's very unfair of you to ask me that.
Yes. Well, we didn't ask you, actually. We asked this woman here. And did she say, A, that's an insulting sexist question, B, it's the dress, you asked me because of the dress, or C, I don't know, I'll tell you later when I've done it?
Number 2, I'd say.
You'd say it's number 2, it's the dress, you asked me because of the
Listen,
dress.
an interesting fact about Boyzone, apparently none of them are homosexuals.
Or have pet tigers.
Let's have a look at the VT and find out.
How does it feel to be riding the Celtic Tiger?
Well, I'll tell you later when I've done it.
All right, thanks very much.
So at the end of that round, I'm afraid Dara's team got no points, Brendan's team got 1 point.
We're winning it.
One's a conundrum.
Now we're going to delve into the world of advertising. Each team will be shown half an advert that we found at the Kinsale Advertising Festival. They simply have to tell us what the advert is for. Dara and Jerry, you go first. Have a look at this.
Hi there, I'm Helen, and I'm here for you, baby. Ooh.
Hårdkamp på mittfältet. Han är som dribblar stort. Oj, stort skott fäller Andersson som blir liggande.
It's an international ad for KY Gel, isn't it?
KY Gel?
Gel. Yeah,
as opposed
gel.
to jelly.
Yeah. Gel.
Let's have a look and find out.
Han är som dribblar stort skott. Oj, stort skott fäller Andersson som blir liggande.
Oh yeah, check out my breath.
Mål! Vilket fantastiskt mål! Publiken jublar. Sensation!
No, oliko hyvä?
Ja.
Absolutely. Gorgeous.
So, because you said gel, I'll give you a point for that. Close enough.
Hey! Oh, thank
Total
you.
generosity.
Thank you. Okay, so we're at 0 now.
So you have a point now.
You have a point.
1 point now. Excellent. Just before we go on, another big story during the week was that the Queen of Camp, Elton John, was made a knight in the New Year's Honours list, which means that when he travels around the UK, that British men have to kneel in front of him. Bit of a dream come true down there, I would have thought, yeah.
What does
Don't
that
let
mean?
the sun go down on me, as the song says.
Apparently he wants to be known now as Sir Lancelot.
Brendan and Kevin. Here's your advert. What's it for?
You are in my power. When I snap my fingers, you will act like a chicken.
There you go.
Does the dog really think he's a chicken, but he's just hatching an egg, so he doesn't move? He just sits there.
No, I don't think it's that really, is it?
Yeah, well, that's what happens next, which really we're not asking that. We're asking you, what's it an advert for?
Oh, I see. I wasn't listening to you. I'm sorry.
Oh, yeah. Notice that. That's
It's something to do with clicking his fingers. Is there a product which makes you click your fingers more easily?
It's called Rhythm.
Let's have a look and find out.
When I snap my fingers, you will act like a chicken. Have a Kit Kat.
You get half a point for that?
Why haven't we seen these glorious productions?
I'll give you a point because you got the egg thing.
Ah, yeah.
I'll give you a point for the egg thing. So after that round, they got 1 point each.
I think we're even.
Yeah, no waving on that round.
All right, yeah,
good. Big story.
Before we go on to the next round, big story during the week was that the Irish Army, apparently, in an international rating, have been rated 82nd toughest in the world. So we have exclusive footage of the Irish Army trying to improve.
Others come by road. Cyclist patrols overtake them with a message of the attacking party's movement. They about turn and are off to the position indicated.
So that was them finding out they had to fight the Vatican State. Just time now for our final breathless round, 60 seconds of facts. I'll ask the teams questions about the week's events. They get a point for the correct answer or 2 points if they get a laugh out of our studio audience, who are all half asleep. Dara and Jerry, you go first.
Okay, 60 seconds. That's us. That's we're on.
Behind this.
Your 60 seconds of facts starts now. What was the low point of 1997 for Mick McCarthy?
Well, I don't know. Sheep cloning. He's really against it. I don't know.
Eamon Duffy winning the lotto?
I'll give you 1 point for sheep cloning. US scientists have appealed to the American government to put what on ice cream and burgers?
More ketchup, because they're really fat scientists.
Yeah, very fat scientists, yeah.
I'll give you 2 points for that. Who might be interested in investing in Radio Ireland, apart from Jerry?
Nobody, really.
Apart from those big Japanese banks, like the Yamauchi Corporation, one of those kinds. Nick Leeson, he'd be good.
It was Virgin, no points for that. A man in Beverly Hills has been bedding young women and running up expense accounts. Who is he pretending to be?
Katie Lang.
Yeah, I'd go Katie Lang, actually. Let's talk about that, will we? What would you say she did? Would you say it started with playful wrestling?
I'd say it was Rod Stewart, actually, but points for that. What happened to thousands of people in Cork over the weekend?
There was no television because of the storms.
Yeah.
They had to talk to their families and then they killed them at the end of the weekend because they couldn't stand them at the end.
Close enough, I'll give you a point for the right
Best
answer.
start RTE had for 98.
What are the Irish Army currently seeking compensation for?
Tennis elbow, writer's cramp.
Too much tubas in your ears.
Yeah.
Too much tubas in your ears.
No, that happens.
Uncomfortable
Too
many tubas.
Too many tubas, yes, correct. Sorry, thank you, Brendan. Too many tubas.
It was actually sunburn.
All right, yeah.
You got
The Lebanon, that's right.
Yeah, you got 7 points at the end of that.
Thank you.
Go for it.
Okay. We're up against it. Brandon and Kevin.
Look.
Your 60 seconds of facts starts now. O.J. Simpson has been studying to become what?
An actor.
A lawyer.
Correct. You get a point for
That's
that.
L-A-Y.
The Australian government says that transsexuals should be allowed to do what?
Explore the bush.
Compete in the Olympics, actually. But that's close enough.
Are transsexuals actually different down under?
What are 1.6 million Irish people still doing?
Giving boys on the finger.
Eating turkey sandwiches and turkey
Eating
curry
beef, I'll give you a point for that. Bertie Ahern has the biggest what for 20 years?
Oh, hang on, I know this. I saw it in the paper. Isn't it? It's cock, isn't it?
No.
Is it a portion of turkey at Christmas dinner?
No, it's approval right now. Take a point off for filth. What did 6% of women? Why did 6% of women first have sex, according to a new survey?
Because the priest couldn't catch any of the little boys.
We'd never
Okay,
said
that's
that.
I'll give you a point for controversy, though, Brendan, to get that back. At the end of that round, you got 4 points. 4 points.
Very tense.
Very close.
I think they've beaten us.
So that means, in a final breathless dash for the finish line, that Brendan's team got 6 points, but Dara's team got 8 points, and they're tonight's winners. We'll be back same time, same channel next week, thanks to Brendan's guest Kevin Hayes and with Dara, Jerry Ryan, who you probably won't see again on television for a very long time. But as I go, I should remind you that today sees the relaunch of Radio Ireland as Today FM. However, a few days ago, before it became Today, I rang up Radio Ireland with a query as to how they estimate the size of the audience. Thanks for helping us feed the gondolas. Good night.
Hello, Radio Ireland.
Hello, is that Radio Ireland?
It is, yes.
Oh, great, I'm glad I got through to you. I must say, I love Radio Ireland. I listen to it all the time.
Okay.
And I was reading in the papers about all them comments, and I think it's very unfair. But I just wanted to ask you a question. I'm going out this afternoon, and I don't want to damage them. Should I leave the radio on? Would that count?
No, that doesn't count.
Oh, so they'll know if I leave the house.
No, well, you mean if you leave the radio on? That's not the way they survey these, like what listenership we have.
Oh.
They do it by conducting interviews, and kind of bringing people up and asking them what they listened to yesterday. But it's not actually a kind of where that they'll detect if your radio's on.
Oh, so they won't know.
No, they won't know that.
They never talk to me. I listen to it all the time and nobody's ever asked me.
I know, but that's the way the survey works.
They just talk to people who listen to RTE.
They take no, well, it's not that they just talk to people who listen to RTE. They take kind of a sample of the population, a sample of the electorate, or if you like, and
the electorate.
Yeah.
Right.
And
people voting.
Yes, they would like say maybe take.
Would they be voting at the time they'd be asking them, or did they only do it every 4 years?
No, they do it every 6 months, but they don't.
But they get them to vote every 6 months.
No, they don't get them to vote.
Komponerer